You know, every amazing building, whether it's a tiny house or some massive skyscraper, they all start at the exact same place with a totally clean slate. Today, we're going to dig into that first crucial step, clearing the building site. Let's get into it. It's a question we've all probably had, right? You see the finished building with all the glass and steel, but where did it really start? It wasn't with a fancy ceremony or the first steel beam. Nope, it started with a huge cleanup job. And this image, it just nails it. The best way to think about it is this. Clearing a building site is just like cleaning your room. Before you can build that new bookshelf or set up your desk, you gotta clear out all the junk, right? It's that simple and it's that important. So that's what we're gonna do in this explainer. We're gonna walk through that whole process, step by step. We're gonna see exactly how a messy, overgrown piece of land gets turned into a perfect blank canvas, just waiting for something amazing to be built on it. Okay, but before anyone even thinks about digging, before a single machine gets turned on, there's one thing that is absolutely 100% non-negotiable: the ground rules for safety. And this is the absolute golden rule on any job site. Seriously, every single instruction, from how to hold a tool to how you operate a massive excavator, it's all designed with just one thing in mind: keeping everybody safe. It's the foundation for the entire project. You know, what's kind of wild is how simple these rules seem, but they're so important. That gear, it protects you from all sorts of stuff. Keeping your distance from the big machines, well, that can literally save your life. And following instructions, that just makes sure the whole crew is working together safely and efficiently. All right, so once everyone knows the safety plan, it's time for the main event. We're talking about the 7-step transformation that takes a site from a cluttered mess to a clean canvas. Okay, step 1. Where do you begin? Well, you strip the site. So what in the world does that mean? It's pretty much what it sounds like. You're literally peeling back the top layer of the earth. You got to get rid of all that grass, the weeds, the plants, all that organic stuff, to get down to the solid dirt underneath. You can't build on mushy topsoil, so it has to go. Okay, so the top layer's gone. Now you've got to deal with the big stuff. And that brings us to step number 2, cutting trees. Yeah, this is all about just clearing the way, making room to breathe. Any trees or big bushes that are in the spot where the building's going to be, or that would just get in the way of construction, they've got to come down. It's a pretty dramatic moment when the whole area starts to open up. But hey, what if the site isn't just empty land? What if there's, something already there? Well, that leads us right to step 3. Exactly. If there's an old, rickety house or some forgotten shed on the property, it's got to come down. Demolition is actually a really careful process of taking things apart to completely clear the slate for whatever's coming next. It really is out with the old, in with the new. So everything you can see above ground is gone. Now we've got to focus on the ground itself. So welcome to step 4, which is called earthing. And this step, earthing, is absolutely critical. It's all about creating a perfectly level playing field. You're moving dirt around, filling in any holes, and flattening out any bumps to make sure the whole site is one solid, even surface. I mean, think about it. You can't build a straight building on lumpy ground, and this step makes sure that won't happen. So, as you can imagine, clearing a site creates a ton of stuff, all that dirt, wood, and concrete. And that brings you to a really important decision, which is covered in our next 2 steps. So you've got 2 paths here, right? On one side, you have salvaging. This is just smart. You're saving useful stuff like old bricks or wood that you can use again. It saves money and it's way better for the environment. But on the other side, you have disposing. This is where you have to be kind of ruthless and just get rid of anything that's broken, useless, or could be a hazard later on. We are so close now. The land is flat, the big stuff is gone, but the site isn't truly clean until this final step. This really is the final deep clean. We're talking about getting every last little thing out of there, digging up those stubborn old tree stumps, pulling out roots you didn't even know were there, and hauling away every last piece of junk. This is what makes a site completely safe, and it stops some buried surprise from messing things up down the road. And boom, just like that, the whole place is transformed. So let's pull all this together and look at the key takeaways from the whole process. And hey, if you want to remember all this, there's a really cool little trick for it. Just think SCDESDR. It stands for strip, cut, demolish, earth, salvage, dispose, and remove. It's the whole 7-step process in one little acronym. Pretty neat, right? So what's the big picture here? Well, first you gotta know those 7 steps. That's the playbook for getting it done right. Second, always follow the safety rules. And finally, you have to get just how important all this prep work is. It's not just about tidying up, it's about setting the stage for a safe and successful build.
When you boil it all down, this is what it's about. The whole point of site clearing is to make the building process safe, clean, and ready to go from the very first moment. That's the goal.
So the next time you drive past a construction project, you'll know. You'll know that before a single wall went up, before any concrete was poured, there was this massive, transformative process of just clearing the way. The canvas was made perfect so that the masterpiece could begin.